Hey, hi guys, welcome again. It's me again, Mission, and today I'm going to share you Workout from Home episode number 11. And today I'm going to share with you how to just a moment, yeah. Alright, I'm going to share again how to get do you need supplements, alright? Or what supplements should you take? So before I start anything, I just want to give a disclaimer: is that I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm sponsored by anyone. This is my personal opinion. I just happen to have this brand. This is just my personal thoughts, and it's not to be taken like advice, or it's not to be taken like some sort of prescription, if you will. So what I'm going to share with you is some supplements. Which supplements are okay? What are supplements? Do you need supplements to build muscle or to lose fat? Or is this supplement good, or is this supplement bad? Is it useless? So today I'm going to break it down all today. But in a nutshell, if I were to go to Google, right, and I search what is the meaning of supplement. Supplement is basically a product that helps to it helps to enhance the current result. So for example, right, it means to enhance. The keyword is enhance. It's already called supplement. It's basically to supply whatever that is lagging, right? There is a better definition, my personal definition of supplement. Supplement is basically whatever that you don't have, you have a gap. So the supplement helps you to fill it in. Pretty much that's about it, right? So remember, supplement is not some magic product. Do you need it? I don't think you need it. I don't think anyone needs it. But can it help you? Yes. But before you think that supplement is some sort of magic power or anything, just understand supplement is just helping to fill in the gap. Keyword, fill in the gap. So meaning if you do not get some nutrients, just maybe the supplements can be able to help you. So today I'll be touching more on like if your goal is to fat loss or even to gain muscle. I'll touch on these two aspects, and I will share with you what supplement that is more useful for you, a better use of your money, if you will, or better use of the time also, and some of the red flags, or what are some things that you want to consider while you're doing this. So you just tune in, you're in for a treat. I'm going to share with you supplements, right? So supplements, basically, let's say to fill the gap. So do you need supplements? The first question. Everyone, sometimes you go to the gym or workout, people ask, hey, what supplement should I take? What supplement should I take actually is not a very good answer. It's not a very good question. I'll tell you why. It's like, imagine you go to a grocery store. Imagine you want to buy a car, right? You go to the car, and the car salesman is there, and you ask, give me your best car. What's the best car you have? Well, it depends, right? If you have a family of 5 person, probably the best car for you is very different compared to someone who likes fast car. Then his best car and the family's best car will be very different. So instead of asking what supplement should I take, I think that is the wrong question. A better question is, maybe you should see some product, and maybe you should ask, okay, does this product be able to benefit me? I think that is a better question to ask, right? It's a very lazy question to ask, like what supplement is the best? Do I take supplements? This is a very it's a broad question. Like I said, the car, I give you the car analogy just now. When you buy a car, you can't just go to the car salesman and say, give me your best car. It just doesn't work that way, alright? So you need to be very specific what supplements do what. But throughout this time, do not worry. I'm going to share with you some of the most common ones, and also a common misconception as well. So first of all, I hope we get it straight. Supplements just help you to fill in the gap. For example, if you do not manage your personal, just the basics, okay? So for example, you don't sleep properly. If your goal is fat loss, let's say fat loss is the goal, you don't sleep properly, you're stressed all the time, your diet is all over the place, and you don't even work out, supplement is not going to do you anything. Supplement, if anything, is just like that margin of like 5 or 10% to change your goal. It's not 60 or 70%, alright? So meaning, here's the good news for us. So remember just now the question I asked, do you need supplement? The answer is no. So this is actually good news for us, because we can actually get results as long as we are consistent and you know what we are doing. You can still gain very good results without supplements. Alright, I have clients who do not take supplement at all. They seem fine. Then there's me. I take some supplements, and it's not too bad. So Okay, then there's also another misconception. If I take supplement, does this mean I am not natural anymore? Meaning, you'd be like on steroids, like that, so to speak. The answer is no. As long as you check with the, if you're concerned about that doesn't make you a natural person, you can go and check with your whatever your supplier of the supplements, and you can clarify with them. Alright, so I just leave it here because I'm going to go so deep into it. So the next one we'll talk about. So now that I've talked about how the supplements, what the supplement do if using the GET. Now, what kind of supplement should I take? Well, I'm going to break it down soon. But now the question is, why should I take supplement? To be frank, there is no why. If you want to improve that 5 or 10% of your total goal, just maybe it will help you a bit. But most important when you want to get supplement is, number one, you need to know what you're getting, and what you should ask yourself this question when you go. Let's say go to a supplement shop or you shop online, right? When they say, oh, what supplement is best for me? The better question is, you go and do a bit of homework, look at the product. Let's say you look at the product is called whey protein, for example, right? So you go to the protein and you ask yourself, what can whey protein do for me? Go and Google, give a check, see how it goes, and do a bit of homework, right? I'm sure before you buy a phone or you buy a house, you want to buy a house, you check the location. If you want to buy a car, you go and check you go and do a test drive, right? Or sometimes you go to the supermarket, you want to try a food, maybe there's some food tasting there, you go and try the food tasting and see the product is nice for you. But unfortunately, when it comes to supplement, most people just refer to the guy that's biggest in the gym, or find someone who's very smart, but they forgot that to apply that everyone might differ a little bit. So go back to the example I told you about the car, like that. A family of 5 car and someone who wants fast car will be very different. Okay, so now that I've talked about supplement for you to get, I know I keep repeating like this because I want you to understand so you don't miss out anything. Supplements help you to fill the gap. And then it also helps you to just improve your sometimes performance, your body composition a little bit, and it's not a magic and it'll give you like 5, 10%. You need to master the basics, example your sleep, how is your diet, and how is your exercise. That one is the main component. When you master all these 3, then you can talk about supplements, alright? So, now said of this, now the million-dollar question, right? Everyone asks, what supplement can I take? Right? So the answer is you don't need supplement. What supplements can I take? Well, it depends on your personal goal. If I can only, I will list down what I'm about to list down later. The sequence doesn't really matter. It's just my personal take. That means if I say item number 1, it's not most important or must-have like that. It's just first thing that pops out in my mind. And when I say it's the last item, doesn't mean it's the least important. And it just means that just in my mind, whatever, there is the last one that I can think of, right? So any supplements that I do not mention today doesn't mean they're rubbish, but I do suggest you to do a bit of homework before you go and do your purchase, right? Like say you're just buying a phone, buying a house, buying property, you go and check the review, you go and read what does it do for you. Don't just blindly take because your friend is selling it or some gym bro asks you to take. Sometimes you might have some consequences also, if you will, right? So straight to the point. Now this is just my personal take. This is just supplements that I personally take, just to show you what supplements I take and why do I take it, and how can you benefit it. Alright, so I'm going to start right over here. I'm going to show you my first item. Alright, probably the most common one. Again, disclaimer, I am not prescribing anything. I am not sponsored by any company. Neither am I trying to sell you a product or trying to fear you. This is just my personal take, just something to consider if you want to really get supplement in your mind. But be sure, do your basics first. Make sure your sleep is right, your diet is okay, and make sure your exercise is consistent. This is the main point. Then only you talk about supplement, alright? Putting the supplement in your list of priority is wasting time, to be very frank. It's like building a house and thinking what color should I put before you even build the house, right? What color of wall should I put? You got to build the house first, then only talk about what color. So make sure you build a wall, have a nice foundation, then you talk about the color or whatever you want. So same also, make sure you master the basics. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to show you this one. I don't know if you guys can see a lot. So as you can see, this is the most, again, this is just supplements that I usually take. I just share with you. This is called whey, W-H-E-Y, right? So if I ask, hey, you can take protein, bro. What they mean is, protein, does it come, in this case, this protein, right, it comes in the liquid form. So basically, there is, if I open a bit, there is a scoop over here. It looks like milk powder. I don't know if you guys can see. I know it's not a lot, but yeah, I'm sorry you guys can't see very black. But basically there's a scoop over here, so you just scoop whatever that is prescribed, put in your water, ice or cold, whichever you prefer, to your shake, then you can drink already. So whey protein is this. Now, what does whey protein do? To be frank, whey protein is not magic. Whey protein is just like a supplement, just to fill in the gap. So I'll tell you what fills in what gap. Yeah? Okay, so for example, you want to lose fat, or you want to build muscle. Okay, it's always a bright idea to build muscle. Why? Because muscle helps you to move a bit more. Also, it helps building muscle helps you to look firm and toned, and building muscle also prevents you from further knee pain or any joint pain in the long run. So our body needs protein, our body feeds on protein. So you can get protein in many sorts of ways. This is just one of the many ways. Remember, this is just to fill in the gap. Protein helps you, what can you get from protein? So I'll give you an example. It doesn't only happen on here. It also happens around meat products. For example, chicken, beef, eggs, milk, cheese. Let's say if you're a vegetarian, right? Tofu, beans, some beans, not all sorts of beans, some beans, what else? Tempeh, tofu. There's this example for my vegetarian friends out there. Yeah? So your meat, like I say, basically any meat has protein one, right? For example, fish, chicken, beef, egg, duck, bison, whatever animals you want to think about, right? So there's this example. So what does this whey protein do? So for example, right, most humans are supposed to consume quite a high protein diet. It's been shown a lot of time. High protein diet is it brings you a lot of benefit, a lot of positive benefit. Not very high, but just higher, not very high. High protein. So for example, let's give you an example. Let's say one person has to eat 100 grams of protein a day. So 100 grams of protein, you can choose. You look approximately kind of like one whole chicken, if you will. So if you ask one person to eat one whole chicken, it's probably very hard, right? Because just think about it. You eating one whole chicken in a day, probably that's very full for you. So instead of eating chicken, the whole chicken, what you can do is maybe you can have half the chicken, split across the day, and having this whey protein product, this protein, as a supplement just to fill in the gap. Because let's say example, person eat one whole chicken, you have half the chicken, where you get another half protein source from, right? You can have it in your meat or whatever, just in case if you're not this kind of eating, then probably drinking could be your second choice. Meaning you may go to something called whey protein. Alright. Now, protein powder comes in. Not all protein powders are created equal. I'm going down to a rabbit hole a bit. If you don't understand, you can ask me personally, or you can just later put you the replay back and just watch back. So, whey protein, right? Protein comes in a lot of form. There is whey, and then you have you probably see something called I don't have it with me. Sorry, it's called mass gainer, or you have seen called hydro whey. You can also see a lot. There's what do you call it? There's also another protein called casein, which I'll show you later. So protein helps to build muscle, but not all protein are created equal. My suggestion, if so what does this mass? Let's say your goal is to build some muscle size. Do you mean you need to take mass gainer? Absolutely not. You don't need the mass protein. It's not mass protein and whey protein is different function. It's just this is a tiny bit of difference. Whey protein is basically just give you the protein powder. That's it. So if you look at the mass, MASS, mass protein powder, right? What they do is usually they add whey protein inside, and they also mix some other substance because that fellow very hard to gain weight. So how to gain weight? You need to gain calorie. So if eating is very overwhelming for the person, you may use mass gainer as a form for you to increase your muscle size by increasing your calories. Instead of eating, you may opt for drinking. Mass and MASS. M for Malaysia, A for America, double S for Syria, for example, right? So it's called mass, right? So if your goal is to lose weight, do you think it's smart for you to take, your goal is to lose weight, is it smart for you to take a weight gainer? Absolutely not. Why? Because if you're doing weight gaining, if your goal is fat loss, eating the mass weight gainer thing is just not your thing. So these are just examples, right? Not to be taken too literal, yeah? Okay? So these are just very, very basic things. So whey protein probably is a good bet for you. How much does it cost? Whey protein, again, there's so many protein. How much is it going to cost? Again, I don't have anything in my mind, but if I were to just shoot a number, probably like 150 to 200. Alright, don't worry, later I'll tell you some red flags, how to spot a good deal or bad deal. So whey protein may be your thing. Again, I am not proposing you to go and buy supplements. This is just my suggestion to show you some supplements that may be able to help you. So whey protein maybe is your thing to go. If eating is just too overwhelming for you, you may want to try this casein, okay? This protein. So now you have to try whey protein. There is another version, like I said, there's Mass Gainer I talk about. There's another version called Hydro Whey. Hydro Whey basically is kind of like a whey protein, but apparently they take out more on the water content. So when they take out more on the water content, apparently it gives you the highest quality of the protein. But to be frank, the Hydro Whey is a bit more expensive, and I think whey actually is good enough to get the job done. I don't think paying more should give you the same thing. Why? Like I said, the benefit is just very small margin. We might as well, to be frank, if I can choose, I would like you to eat whole food, not going to these supplements and all this thing. So this is just, if eating is just too much for you, let's say you're going outstation, right? You don't have food packed with you, so maybe you can put 1 or 2 scoops into your drinks, that's about it. Okay, so I've done with this. So whey, now I go on the Mass Gainer, I'm going to Hydro. The next one I'm going to touch to you is called casein. So I'll show you, this is like the evil twin of whey, like that. I'll explain to you why. So whey protein basically is what you always see people after workout they'll drink. Why? It's not magic after workout, there's this magic special formula or what. It's just because usually after you finish workout, it is advisable to put some protein in your body, because after you go to the gym or you work out from home, you really like pull a bit of you tear the muscles a little bit. So when you drink protein, you have to heal the muscle and build the muscle. So you want the protein to go as fast as you can to your body, so to speak. So a good way is to have it in a liquid form, because you eat in a what is that called? In a food form, whole food form. Some will claim like, oh, you know, it's going to cause you a lot of digestion problems and so on, which is not true, by the way. But if I say if drinking is your thing, you want it fast, then probably a whey protein. Now, this one digests very fast. Probably you drink it, you just drink alone. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Probably after half an hour, 1 hour, you get hungry again. All right. So let's say you might be thinking, I don't want to get so hungry so fast. Is there an alternative for me to do this? Yes, there is. So instead of whey, you go to something called, is what we call casein, right? Casein is like the evil twin, right? So this one is called casein. Again, I am not sponsored by any company. This is just one of the products that I am consuming, all right? Not because they're magic. I repeat again, go get your basics right. Make sure you eat right. Make sure your nutrition is on point. Make sure your sleep is good, your stress is low, and also last but not least, your what is that called? Your exercise, that you're consistent. This is what most important. Then when you master this three, only go to supplement all this. You will find me keep repeating and repeating things like that, because I don't want you to think that this is like some ad like that. It's like not telling you that this is the magic way like that. If you want to find magic, to be frank, I don't have it. Turn off this page. This is just not your thing you want to watch on, right? So now what does casein do? Casein is the opposite of whey. Whey lets you digest very fast, right? You drink half an hour, you'll be done. Casein, on the other hand, is not bad for other two circumstances. So for example, casein lasts very long in your body. How long? Probably as a start, depending on you range of 4 to 8 hours for most people, right? So meaning when you drink this, after 4 or 8 hours later, only you start to feel hungry. So example, right? How can you apply this casein to yourself? So for example, you know that, example, you're working, you know this whole day you're going to work, long day, outstation, you just don't have access to food, but you don't feel so hungry so fast, probably you should go and get casein, because casein keeps in the body very long. Think about like yogurt versus milk like that. This is like a yogurt, the whey protein is like a milk, if you will. So at least this gives you an idea, right? So done with this casein. Second thing you can use is example, if for some reason you know you're going to go into fasting. For example, my Muslim friends out there, man, you guys during your puasa, right? If you want to like tahan a bit longer, right? You probably want to try casein. Just maybe you have it to last a bit longer. You don't get hungry so quick, so you can break fast at the time without feeling too like crap like that, right? So what else? Who else instead of fasting today? Let's say you're non-Muslim. What does this mean for you? Well, just for example, you sleep, right? You notice you're that kind of person. Every time you sleep, the next day you wake up, get very hungry. Just maybe getting a casein can help the situation. And I got cheat code number 3. So number 1 is for fasting. Number 2 is for if someone who likes to eat, who likes to before they sleep, so they don't feel hungry the next morning. I have cheat code number 3, which this will help you, is when you know you are going out to a situation you cannot control. So for example, right, you're going buffet with dinner with your friends and you know you're going to eat a lot. So how do you prevent yourself? Guess what? Try a casein. It's going to last you 3-4 hours. When you go to the buffet, you will still eat, but probably you won't be able to eat much because this thing has already settled down your stomach for quite a while. So these are just some practical applications that you can use. Alright. Now done with the casein. Up next, I'm going to show you. Is called creatine. Alright. So general whey protein again. Whey protein is not must have. Make sure you eat your whole protein food. Let's say you eat a lot of whole food, a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, a lot of fish or whatever, or the tempeh or tofu, whatever, is too overwhelming for you. Just maybe, or you're supposed to hit a protein goal you haven't hit yet. Just maybe you can use those supplements that I talked to you, the 2 proteins shake that you can try. This is just, again, I don't recommend any brand. Notice I never talk about brand. It's intended this way because I am not a supplement seller. Number 2, neither you might want to seek seek help from the dealer or your supplier before you go and buy your purchase, because I do not know whether you're allergic to anything or maybe that thing is just doesn't fit you. Alright. So next one we're going to talk about this one. This one is called creatine monohydrate. So creatine monohydrate basically is supplements that help you to increase. It has been shown to increase to increase your performance a little bit. So for example, sometimes you want to do like lifting weights and all those. That one or the first or last 2 reps was a little bit tough for you. Just maybe if it's very tough for you, then probably having a creatine in the long run, not in the short run. It's not like once you have it today, you get it. Yeah? In the long run, it can and will help you to improve your performance. So I think one of these samples is called, I don't know if you guys can see or not, it's called creatine monohydrate. Okay, so creatine monohydrate, there's a lot of creatine outside. I can't remember the name, but there's like essential creatine, or I can't remember. As long as just remember the word monohydrate, creatine monohydrate, that's a good buy already. Anything other than that, creatine ester or creatine, I can't remember exactly, I'm very sorry, but anything that's other than creatine monohydrate probably does pretty much this thing too. And it's also, this creatine monohydrate is cheaper compared to the other kind of creatine, and it works the same. So why pay more when you can save for less, right? So this creatine monohydrate helps you to improve your performance. Pretty much straightforward, just like that, right? So how do you take it? Like, why should you take it? Maybe some of you asking. Well, it depends on you. If you are like a very explosive sport, what this thing do is not magic, but it just creates a little bit more energy for you, just for the extra 1 or 2 push. Okay, I go into very scientific. If you really want to, now you can skip this. Alright. There's this body thing called ATP. Alright, ATP is something happening in your body where it helps to create some energy, and to fill in the gap, ATP basically you require one of the element called creatine. So creatine you can get it from meat and everything, but the creatine after you cook already, sometimes the meat, example, the creatine will gone off, and we won't want to eat food too raw. So to fill in the gap, creatine monohydrate can and will able to help you. Alright, now how frequent should you take? By suggestion, just read anything on the label behind. But for general application, for most people, you can take it 5 grams. They always say you start at 5 grams and 10 grams and so on. But personally, I just take 5 grams every day just to fill in the gap. Should you take it before or after your workout, before you sleep, after you sleep? It turns out, as for now, the research shows that there is not much of a difference whether you take it before your workout, after your workout, or even during your workout, or before you sleep, after you sleep. Apparently, you don't need to time it, if you will. Basically, you take it once a day, should be able to get the job done. Now, creatine is just helping for performance purposes, right? Why focus so much on performance? Well, if your goal is to lose weight or your goal is to gain muscle, if your performance is not increasing in a long period of time, i.e. 3 to 4 months time, chances are you're not progressing, you will not be able to see results. So in order to improve, to get progression, you need to progress. How do you progress? Improve on your performance. How do you improve your performance? Doing extra rep, add a bit of weight, form a bit better, those are going to help you. So having creatine monohydrate can and will help the situation. Okay, again, can you go without creatine? Absolutely, yes you can. No doubt about it. But this is just for people who wants the extra 5 to 10% gap. That's about you. Okay? Remember, this doesn't mean anything if you do not. I'm going to keep repeating again. You don't sleep properly. You don't keep your diet in check. and even worse, you don't even exercise and you think this is going to help you, good luck. It's not going to help you a lot. Right? So creatine monohydrate, this is done. Okay. So to be frank, I can just turn off and say, you know what, this is done. But since I got a few supplements to play along, I just share with you now. Right? Now these supplements, I said, it's not you need to just get it in case you need to fill in any gap. Right? So allow me to show you the next one. Now the next one, probably you hear it before. Is called fish oil. You know, we always hear that people say, oh, get fish oil. You know, when we small, our mom always forces us to have this cod liver oil and stuff. So basically, it's fish oil lah. So don't know if you guys can see or not. So I'll just show you guys. Fish oil usually comes in a tablet. So yeah, there you go. So it looks something like this. So what does fish oil do? Alright. So fish oil, again, different brand has different function and all this stuff. But if I were to generalize it, probably you say fish oil is basically, now why you need fish oil? Fish oil basically is something that gives you some fat, alright? Fish oil has fat. Some of the fat helps you in just doing the basic thing, like for our skin pigment, our hair, our skin. This is great when you have some fat. This is going to help you to keep you alive, if you do, alright? Fat is actually very essential for building hair, building your skin, your pigments, even your fingernails, simple things like this. So you need fat. Let's say if someone is lack of fat, right? Not like body fat, like lack of fat nutrients, yeah? That means, example, no egg yolk, no olive oil, butter, you name it, anything of example, right? Anything of fat. If that person doesn't have a lot of fat sources, then probably having fish oil may be a thing for you, alright? So fish oil is just, I always call fish oil, I wouldn't even say like need, again, no supplement that's in need. Basically, it's just like an insurance policy. If your daily diet, right? If your daily diet, not your daily, your weekly diet, for example, if you don't eat fish very frequent, my definition of frequent is out of 7 days, you only eat fish like once or twice, then probably having this fish oil may be able to help you. Now, why fish oil, you might be wondering. Why am I thinking fish oil, right? For me, to be frank with you, because I'm very lazy to cut fish, and number two, I'm very lazy to cook fish also, and number three, fish for me is a bit expensive, and I just don't like to keep the bone in it. So here what I do is, occasionally in a day or two, I will get some of this fish oil. So how frequent should you take? If you read the labeling here, it says like 1 day take, there you go. Adults take 1 capsule 3 times a day. So as for me, I only take once a day because I have my fat sources from other places. Also, remember, this is just to fill in the gap. It is not to replace your meal, alright? So, for example, sometimes I have egg yolks, I have oil when I cook on the food. So by default, I have some fat sources around it. This is just like, for me, is to fill in the gap. So again, before you want to buy a fish, and especially you want to check it out, if for some reason you're allergic to seafood or what, you might want to check with your pharmacist or even your whoever your supplier is, your supplement store. Just check with them. Is there an alternative or so on and alright? Or some of you, you're vegetarian. I'm not sure whether there's a fish oil for vegetarian or not, but if there is, then probably you want to get it. So that is how what supplements can be able to help you lah. So for this one, basically on your skin pigment, just to keep yourself alive lah, if you do, just a little bit, right? So fish oil, not going to kill you, but don't replace. Example, you don't like, oh, I will replace 1 fish for 6 of this tablet, for example. It doesn't work that way. It's just to fill in the small little gap, 1 or 2 in a day or whatever. Just now I prescribed just now. Sorry, the bottle prescribed just now, not I prescribed. The bottle prescribed. Basically, that's how you do. Alright. So this is done. Now up next is called a multivitamin. This is what I have with me. This is, you guys can see it, it's below. This is for black, small. I just get it from pharmacy shop. Okay? To be frank, a lot of people say, do I pick this brand because it's reputable or what? I'll explain later, but in a nutshell, basically it's just find whatever that I've heard before, I'm familiar with it, and I can Google it, I can see result, it's good review. Not good, just normal, just okay reviews also I would consider already. So there you go, multivitamins. So what multivitamins do? So for example, our body needs a lot of things. Our body needs protein, carbs, fat, vitamin A, B, A, D, E, K, all the way to zinc, magnesium, and so there's so many things to eat, right? If you were to like fill in everything, or sometimes in our daily life, whether in our culture or society, we might miss out a nutrient or two. So for example, right, there are people who don't eat red meat very frequent. Like some red meat as in like beef, lamb, what they call it, goat, mutton, for this example. So if all these food sometimes have this like zinc or magnesium and so on. So instead of, if they cannot not accessible to the food, or they cannot eat the food for religious or ethical reasons, then maybe having this multivitamin can and will help you. So multivitamin usually comes in the form of pill, right? I have yet to see a powder, whether you guys can see it or. So there you go, it's just a very small pill, right? So again, before you do this, this is not to replace your meal, alright? So I repeat again, it's not to replace your meal. Make sure your meal has a lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables, have all this kind of variety, have a bit of good whole food, not so much of processed food, minced meat, anything that is very, or whatever you call, that is highly processed, high calorie, low in nutrient, then that is going to be a big trouble for you. As long as you master all the good things, then probably you have this one, your multivitamins can and will be able to help you. Will help you to, just help you to fill the gap a bit, right? So for example, if that day you don't eat a lot of vegetables, so how are you going to get some of the nutrients? Probably you can just rely on this. This one and the, what is that called? The fish oil is kind of like insurance policy, like I said. It's just like, in case you need it, just get a bit. It is not to fill in the gap. It is not to replace the meal. I repeat, it is not to replace the meal, alright? Before you take, do your homework and make sure all these things will help you, alright? Actually, there's a lot of other supplements that I would like to show you, but as for now, this is the only supplements that I have, okay? Some special shout out include, you might hear in the gym people say BCAA, also known as branched chain amino acid. So basically, branched chain amino acid is basically a supplement. It comes in a powder form. Usually doesn't have taste, not flavor one. You put in the water and then you drink. The idea is that BCAA helps to branch chain amino acid. It helps for recovery purposes. All right. I'm not sure about the scientific principles that are the concept there, but in a nutshell, it shows that it helps to improve recovery. So for example, your workout is very sore, you're just all over the place, the training is very hard. Having a bit of BCAA can improve the situation. Now, before you want to go to the nearest supplement store and get a BCAA because you're feeling tired and so anything, that is not the way. Alright, remember to stick to your basics. Have a high protein meal, have a lot of fruits and vegetables, that is your diet, as you sleep, make sure your recovery is good. And also you want to make sure, last but not least, your exercise make sure it's consistent and you do it with proper intention. So once you've done all this, then you might want to go get BCAA. But for most people, to be frank, if you have a high protein diet, by default, if you have a high protein diet, by default, your what is it called? You don't need to get BCAA anymore, because the food, actually, when the food that you eat inside has a little bit of amino acid, also known as the BCAA that we talk about. So that is going to help you in terms of recovery already, if you will. And you can have all the BCAA in the world, but if you don't sleep properly, it is not going to help you anything at all. Alright, so you want to take note of that. So other also you might hear pre-workout, probably very common. Pre-workout, pre means before, right? So basically it means a supplement that is before the workout. So what does that pre-workout do? Usually they have an element called caffeine inside. So when they have this caffeine property, the idea is that once you drink already, you get very hyped up, you are like, just like coffee, imagine espresso or coffee. Once you drink, you get whoosh, that rush, and then you want to go and do your workout. So that's called pre-workout, alright? Do you need pre-workout to have a good workout? Not really. Are there people who can do good workout without pre-workout? Absolutely you can. You want to make sure that you have, most important, you are well recovered, then you have pre-workout. Now pre-workout, the caffeine, from my understanding, is a little bit higher. To be frank, I've never tried pre-workout before, so I don't know. But from my understanding, pre-workout is very, the caffeine is higher. Higher as in what? Higher compared to coffee and tea. Just slightly a bit higher dosage. So if you're having this, you may have like, before you work out, you may have a pre-workout before you work out. The last thing you want to do is, before you sleep, you're going to have a pre-workout. Then that's where you have sleeping problem. Then refer back to the one I always keep repeating. You're sleeping a problem. If you don't control your sleep properly, you don't eat properly, or you don't exercise regularly, then that's where we have all the problem and challenges coming up. So you want to take note of that. Alright, so point taken is, what you need to do is, if you want to take pre-workout camp, just make sure it's way before your bed hours. So for example, you're training at the night, I wouldn't recommend you take pre-workout, because if you take pre-workout, there is a slight possibility your eyes are still open before you even sleep, right? You want to sleep, it's very hard. So these are some ideas you want to take on. I can actually go on and on. There's so many lists of supplements, but these are what I said the most common one in around our society, or should I say at least in Malaysia, as far as I know, right? So now that I've talked to you about what supplements you usually do, the goal is just to fill in whatever gap that you need. Now the next thing is give you some bonus point, how to spot a good or bad deal, right? Rule number one, before you go and get the supplement, you need to make sure you do a bit of homework, you know what the supplement do. Not because I show you in this video today you will get. Even if you get results, good. If you don't get results, don't blame me. Or if you have any side effects, do not blame me. I'm just giving you my personal take on supplements, alright? So, rule number one is you need to go and understand. The general rule of thumb number one is you go and make sure you know what the product is going to benefit you. What is it going to do to you, right? Understand that there's no magic or anything, alright? And if it helps you, for example, whey protein helps you to build muscle building after your workout, for example, if that's your thing, go ahead and do. But at the end of the day, if you have a high protein diet, you do not need whey protein. It's not to replace the meal, yeah? It's just a substitute only, alright? So, next one, sorry. So, number one is you need to know what you're having and why you're having. Number two, how to spot a good deal. My suggestion, if you want to buy from someone that is reputable or at least trustworthy. So, for example, just example, any coincidence is just a fiction one, it doesn't happen one. So, for example, right, if you hear of a brand, like example, it's quite reputable, you ask a lot of people know, you Google, there's results. For example, the one that I picked just now, let's use the whey protein example again. So this one I go is called Optimum Nutrition, also known as initials O and on, right? So when you go Optimum Nutrition, you can see a lot of label, is Google all around, reviews are not bad. These are reputable companies among the fitness industry, is quite well known. So these are kind of okay. But if you go and hear some brand from, here's the catch. If you hear the supplement company, right, has like very extreme or very expressive name. For example, Mutant 33 or Nuclear War Bomb or anything like that. If you hear things like that, that's a red flag for you. You can just skip it. Chances are it's going to make fancy, and it's the same. Even if it's good quality, it's about the same quality as other reputable companies. So it shouldn't be too fancy. The packaging also very straightforward. You see my packaging, it's so boring, right? It's just black, there's this color, and then that's about it. You see, like, example, there's like a very jacked bodybuilder over here, or you see like there's a beautiful lady over here, or there's some like some weapons around, and that is a red flag for you. Yeah, that is just not your thing. Be very, very skeptic. All right, okay. So you need to think. So once you get the product right, once you make sure that it's a reputable company, you understand what it's doing for you, then you go to point number 3. Now, how to get it? This is my tip for you. How to get it at a cheaper price. All right. Don't worry, I'm not giving you promo code or anything. It's just some ideas for you. Yeah. All right. Sometimes when you go to the supplement store, it's a bit expensive. You go to the pharmacy, it's expensive. So what you can do? Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so what you can do is you also want to make sure that to save money, you want to buy from a supplier that, wait, sorry, there's some guest, sorry. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's a source that you trust, right? Let's say if you want to buy from a local store, you find the store is you want to get a cheaper price, you may go to your online platform and buy, for example, Lazada, Shopee, or whatever you want to find, you get it from the official store. Sometimes they have discount code, sometimes they have a promo offer. So that you can capacitate from there, right? Whereas you go to the store, sometimes store need to pay rental, online don't need to pay rental. Even if they have commission, so you pay a little bit lower price if you buy online compared to going to the physical store itself. This is my personal experience, and again, this is my personal experience. I don't think everyone must buy from online, and not everyone must go buy from the supplement store itself. If you're that kind of person, you need to see, you need to hold, then you may go to the supplement store. It may be better for you to have a look, right? So now that you understand what it does for you, you have already find a reputable company. You buy from reliable sources that is the lowest on your price. What do you do next, right? So what you do next is get the supplement, consume how the label asks you to consume. That's about it. Then you're done, right? So in a nutshell, some of the good points is supplements help you to fill the gap, all right? But be sure it is not doesn't have magic properties. You need to make sure at the end of the day you got to eat properly, you got to sleep well, and you also need to exercise regularly. Then we talk about whey protein. We talk about casein. We talk about creatine monohydrate. We talk about what is that called? We talk about multivitamins, about fish oil. We talk about pre-workout. We talk about BCAAs and so on and so forth. Then also how some ideas for you to get a good deal is to go online maybe, or you can even go to a physical store just to see how things go. And these are the good things, and we add it with what are some red flags. Alright. Now just now I actually share one really is that if you go and see the supplement company, the product right has like a very flowery name, like example Mutant 33 or Poison Power or whatever like that, right? That thing is a red flag for you. Just run away. That's not your thing. Just get something that's nice and good. And also the price wise, just let you know, if it's too good to be true, chances are it's too good to be true. So for example, right, a market price of whey protein is around, let's say, 180 to 200 as we are speaking today. Yeah? So let's say if you see someone selling you the same item, the same unit, the same weight, but the price is like 50 ringgit only. If you ever see things like that, be very skeptical. I suggest you to actually don't even think about it. Go and get something that is within that price range. Why? Because there is actually syndicate in this world. We call it protein spiking. So what this protein spiking is, example, right, the protein powder, right, what they do is they take out half of the content, they add with foreign substance. For example, they put milk powder, they put cocoa powder, or anything that makes it, makes it look full. So then the protein powder is already contaminated. They add with a lot of things, they spike it up already. So to prevent yourself into a victim of that, prevent yourself from buying those like it's too good to be true deals. All right, make sure it's within the price range. So example, you shop online, suddenly you see something that's extremely cheap. If I were you, I would not go for it. I would go for something that is equivalent or just lower by a few ringgit market price. That's a safe bet. And also, what you want to also take note is when you buy supplements, right? You also want to make sure. Final aspect is that when you buy the supplement, you need to understand one thing is that it is not magic. Again, I keep emphasizing this one. It is not a magic, alright? It is just something for you to fill in the gap. Let's say if you don't eat a lot, you want to have just some beverage, then probably the whey protein powder can help, right? So that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. So next time will be Thursday. Thursday means we do workout, so if you more workout ideas, I believe it's week 6, I believe. So we will do week 6 training. So catch with you. If you have any questions, again, feel free to drop. You notice I never mentioned some of the supplements like glutamine or all those things, right? What else? Glutamine, all those things. It's not because they're not important. It's just for me. It's just personally, it's least important, and I also don't have much idea about those products as well. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you so much, and catch you on Thursday. Thursday we do workout, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, till then, thank you, have a good day, and good night. Bye bye.